Welcome aboard, Skylark Outdoors here, and today we're reviewing Bennington L Series Pontoons, which we've got right here. This is a Bennington L24, but we're going to go over the entire series of Bennington pontoons because this is pretty representative of the Bennington L Series pontoons. This is kind of the mid-range of the boats there. So on this particular one, we're going to go through all the features of this and then go through what you're typically going to get in a Bennington pontoon. So here you can see you've got a nice swim platform up here in the front. You've got nice cleats, and then you have your navigation lights. Those are up there in the corners as well. Some really nice big long benches up here in the front. I like how you have a longer bench on one side and the shorter bench on the other side. Just adds a lot of seating. Plenty of cup holders. You always want to see that in a pontoon. And then you've got your entry door on the side there, and then you have bench seating in the rear and a captain's chair. So a lot of seating on this boat for whoever you're going to have on it. You've got a little storage compartment underneath the helm, and then you've got some armrests on that captain's chair, as well as a little table. Now, what I do like about this pontoon is that you can see you've got a gate in the side and a gate in the rear. I like that for if you're having grandkids on here, kids on here. It just kind of keeps them enclosed in the boat and feels a little bit safer if you've got little ones moving around. So I do like that. You can see the helm controls here, pretty well laid out. You've got your navigation, you've got your stereo here, and your gauges for your engine. And then this is just single engine, so you've got your single throttle control, but plenty of space there to do what you need to do and drive this boat. And then you do have plenty of shade in the rear here, and you can just see how spacious this is. I do like the layout of this one, and I like the cup holders. You never have too many cup holders on the boat. So, and you've got storage underneath both of these seats, as well as what's cool about this seat is that you can turn it into a lounger. So if you want to hang out on the back, you can. And you've got a nice swim platform here for people to jump in or stand up on. And then you've got a water sports tower, so you can connect your tubes, wakeboards, water skis, whatever you want. And then this one's outfitted with a nice, reliable Yamaha engine, but you can see this bench, you can have people sitting on it facing rearwards, or you can flip that headrest around and make it a complete sun lounger kind of setup, but plenty of space to fit people on this particular Bennington pontoon. So I'm going to go through some of the Bennington L Series features and what you're going to find in these. The Bennington L Series is kind of their more economical lineup of pontoon boats. You're going to be able to fit anywhere between 7 to 15 people on this lineup, and you get pontoons from 18 to 26 feet. So this is a 24-foot Bennington pontoon. And then with that, this one has a max horsepower rating of 350 horsepower. You go to the 26-footer, you could go all the way up to 400 horsepower, and then it's got an 8'5" beam. If I were getting this, and let's say I wanted to do some light water sports activity, I would probably go with the 200 horsepower or 250 horsepower, or you could go all the way up to 350. With the 200, 250 horsepower, you're going to probably find a top speed right around the mid 30 mile an hour to 40 mile an hour range. And then going up to the 350, you're probably going to get over the 40 mile an hour range with that, as well as you're going to have better torque and low end pickup to get a water skier and or wakeboarder out of the water. But even lower horsepower is going to be plenty for if you're just going to tube. No problems there, but if you want to do water sports that require faster boats and more horsepower, then I would probably go with that 300 or 350 horsepower. But 200 for tubing, that's probably going to be fine for most people, as well as lighter water skiers and lighter wakeboarders. You don't need much to get a wakeboarder out of the water, and you don't need to be going that fast. You can see you've got a swim platform and ladder in the back there, so plenty of features for everything you need. Now, Bennington has several different lineups of pontoons. The L Series is designed to be their more economical option, so you're getting the same pontoons and same platform that you would get on the higher end pontoons. What you're getting for that is just the finishes are a little bit different. So the finishes and of the actual upholstery and stuff is kind of a little bit on the more economical end, as well as the fencing around is also on the more economical end. And then you miss out on just some maybe like higher end features. You can go up to twin engines, when you get into some of the higher ones, so you can go even faster. There's a Bennington pontoon I think we did a review on that had twin engines, like twin 500s or twin 400s, and that thing went 70 miles an hour. So what you would get is more power options, option to have twin engines, which I don't think is necessary on this particular boat or a pontoon for the most case in general. If you're looking at twins, maybe you would want a different style of boat. So the other one is that you'll have the fencing around the outside will maybe be like a little bit higher end. So you'll have a fiberglass fence rather than this is an aluminum fence. But what I like about the aluminum fence is if you do ever have something that happens, those are kind of like more easily replaceable and repairable. They'll just replace a section of the fence. It's kind of pretty standardized among pontoons. Now you may have some issues with colors and all that stuff, but pretty standard repair, and you can find fences pretty available. A lot of pontoons use very similar manufacturers. With the fiberglass, you're going to have fiberglass repair and then gel coat repair and then paint. So just a little bit more involved there, but they do look nice with the fiberglass. Now, another thing that you're going to find on the higher end lineup of the Bennington pontoons is you're most likely going to find something that will have an integrated sports tower on some of them. So the canopy is like a hard metal structure that you're going to have the integrated sports tower up above, kind of like where the helm is in driver's seat, and you'll still have the overhead shade, curtain, and cloth, but what you're going to get is that hard sports power that is up above rather than in the rear of the boat. Just kind of a design choice for those, and just gives it kind of more like a wake boat appearance. There is some advantages of towing from up high, but there's also some disadvantages to that as well, just in terms of actually towing the boat, storage. You're going to have to fold that down a lot of times if you're going into a typical garage, where with this, you can just pretty easily fold down that entire canopy, no issue. So it's kind of a give and take. They do look a little bit cooler, but you also are paying a little bit more. So that's what you get with the L lineup of Bennington pontoons. I do like the layout of this one. It feels bigger than 24 feet just because you got that big platform in the rear, and you have a nice little platform in the front on that too. And then once you go to the more luxurious line, it's called the RX Sports line or the Q line. And those can be anywhere of upwards of $151,000, whereas this one starts at right around $50,000 for the smaller pontoons and lower engine size options, but you can go up from there. But overall, kind of designed to be a economical option for pontoons. It's really pretty crazy, just the market for pontoons, where it's gone in the past couple of years, and I think that's driven by the demand of people who have lake houses aging a little bit, and so maybe they're getting out of a sports boat, more like a ski boat, and they want something they can step on and off of easier, or maybe they've got grandkids, and then you're moving towards something like a pontoon because you can just fit more people on it. And to be fair, pontoons are a lot easier with smaller kids. Just kind of having them fenced in is a nice, safe feeling. And pontoons generally ride pretty soft. So if you don't want to have that kind of porpoising that you get in a bow rider boat or a traditional V-hull boat, a pontoon is the way to go. The disadvantages on wavier days, you may get a little wet. However, the pontoons don't really porpoise nearly as much as a V-hull does. So those are just some things to consider. As well as the only thing I do notice towing pontoons, they're just wider and a little bit more, even though this is a 8'5" beam, they just seem bulkier when you're towing them. That's just my personal opinion on pontoons, and like the overall length for them is a little bit more difficult, and pontoon trailers are just kind of a little bit goofy compared to a traditional trailer. Once you've done it a couple times, no big deal, but something just to get used to. If you're planning on taking this in a trailer, putting it in and out, it's sometimes a little bit different than a V-hulled boat. So all things to be aware of, but overall, I like that they've got the engine choice of a Yamaha here. I like that this has a sports tower, and I do like the layout area in the back. That's another advantage of pontoons, is that You get so much more space on a 24-foot pontoon than you get in a traditional V-hull shaped boat. So if you want to entertain, have people out there, have a lot of people out there, the pontoon really maximizes it because it's like a rectangle rather than a cone shape or a triangle shape, as well as the engine compartment compared to like a traditional bow rider or inboard. That engine is on the back. It's not taking up too much room at all. You've got plenty of space around there to navigate, walk around, and get on and off the boat or just hang out on the boat, as well as you miss out on a lot of layout space like you've got in the rear of this boat when you go to a traditional inboard boat and or just a traditional V-hull. You lose all the space up in the front, so you got to kind of squeeze it in. But that is our review of the Bennington L Series pontoon boats. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please give us that thumbs up, subscribe, and we will see you next time.